From the heartland of America, Love, Marriage, and Stinking Thinking. The program that takes on the common myths about life, love, and marriage. With national relationship speaker and author Mark Gungor. Radio talk show host Debbie Chavez. Music by blues recording artist Jimmy Bratcher. And now, the host of Love, Marriage, and Stinking Thinking, Mark Gungor.
Ms. Chavez. Welcome.
Mr. Gungor.
Yes, welcome to Love, Marriage, and Stinking Thinking. I'm Mark Gungor, and our lovely co-host, would you please welcome Debbie Chavez?
Well, thank you.
And say hello to my wonderful friend, the Reverend Jimmy Bratcher in the band.
And our friend, producer, Lynn Wheeler.
Lynn Wheeler, our fabulous producer girl here, who's helping with the show.
That's right.
And my lovely girl over there, Debbie, my wife, Debbie, 36 years of pure unwedded bliss.
Pure unwedded bliss?
I mean, wedded bliss. Unwedded bliss.
Wait a minute.
Unwedded.
There's a secret to
wedded
be told
bliss.
here. He said
they're not
unwedded.
married. That's how they've done it. No. Wedded bliss. Unwedded. How did I
That was kind of a strange Freudian slip. I'm not sure what's
I was born married. What are you talking about?
You're born married.
Yeah.
One of those arranged marriages at birth or something like that?
We got married I was 18.
That is
She
really
was 19,
young. That
yes.
is so young. Nowadays, people would say that you would have been lunatics. I mean,
Yeah.
really, no one gets married that age.
And people say, why did you get married at 18?
Why did you get married at
Because
18?
it was against the law at 17.
Oh.
That's why. It's very clear, so.
Wow. And you actually advocate young marriage, which is
I
such
do.
a
I'm a big
maverick thing.
proponent of that, and
We'll get into that.
we'll get into that some other time. I actually want to continue with our topic from last week.
Yes.
We were
Dating.
talking about dating.
Courtship. We actually learned something during the show because we do a daily radio show together. You can go to
Yes.
stinkingthinking.com to find out more about that. But we actually learned something from a listener that neither one of us was aware of because apparently we're not very hip and with it. But that now the term in the Christian community, if you're dating, is courtship. Did you all know that? Courtship, because courtship is with the intention of finding someone to marry. Dating is, well, leading to hooking up. Or something like that. He's still clueless. I have to fill him in.
Semantics. I don't care. They get the basic idea. When you're spending that much time with someone, it's for the purpose of discovering, gee, is this person a suitable mate for life?
Mm-hmm.
That's really what the whole
Courtship, dating,
or
whatever.
dating process is all about. And people are doing very, very poorly. And as you point out, we have a daily radio show that we do that you can listen. You can join us. Go to stinkingthinking.com and you can find the link there. Every day, Central Time, 10 to 11.
At Pacific time, 8 a.m.
She has
That's
to
where
get
I
up
live.
early. I don't. But anyway.
He's even wilder on that show. Trust me, it's a little out of control sometimes.
It's great fun. And we answer people's questions. And we've gotten so many questions.
Yeah.
That's why we're taking the TV show and we're spending more time answering people's questions about love and marriage and dealing with their, sadly, stinking thinking about so many of these things. A lot of the emails that we get are from people who have been married for an amazingly short amount of time.
And have sad stories.
Oh, they're miserable.
I mean, they're just, they're
absolutely
heartbreaking.
It's hell, it's terrible. And I think the worst one, I think it was either 7 or 10 days after the wedding.
Yeah. Oh, man. Some of them are just shocking. Yeah, I mean, they didn't even consummate the marriage because it just went downhill immediately.
Yeah,
I mean, like, wow,
how
does
do
that
you
happen?
go from the happiest day of my life to hell in 7 days? I mean, that is unbelievable. So clearly people are doing a really bad job of the dating process. They're trusting too much their emotions.
Well,
and
it is
they're
an emotion thing,
over-spiritualizing, I know, but you gotta
What do you mean over-romanticizing?
Over-romanticize.
I like romance.
Well, I like romance too, but when people are just over-romanticized, it's a soulmate. It's all about the connection. Who cares what he's like? Who cares that he kicks his dog every time he's mad? Who cares that he cusses at his mom when he gets upset? Who cares? He's got issues, that's all. He's got some issues. They overlook all that stuff because they over-romanticize it, because at some level they're just thrilled to have this person in their lives. Then they marry him, and then boom, they find out what they're really like, and they're absolutely miserable. And I argue You should be able to figure these things out ahead of time. That's what the dating process is for. And we've talked about several ideas here. What were they? We talked about they need to be a person of faith.
Yes.
Watch their reactions. Don't be drawn in by their actions. Anybody can act anyway, but they can only react the way they really feel.
And you even say, look at their past. I mean, even though
Look
they're
at their
forgiven if they're
past.
Christian, you know, they're still being transformed, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if they've, you know, if a guy just got out of prison for anger issues and beaten his former girlfriend half to death, and, you know, and he comes to church and he's thrilled to be there, and you marry him 6 months later.
Yikes.
He might still have issues, even though he's been saved. Why? Because it takes a while to walk these things out, okay?
Sure.
Talked about getting your family involved. You know, look at the family. Do you like their family? If you hate their family,
Not a good thing.
You may not want to marry them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can't. Just be aware.
It'll be another
some
challenge.
Some people are comfortable with the fact that they can't stand the family. And they endure it, you know. But some people, they get so angry about it, and they're so freaked out about it, okay? And it becomes a disaster. And then getting someone that they trust in their lives, if it's not their parents, then it would be their pastor or some...
With veto power.
With some kind
to
of
say,
veto power
red
in
flag,
their lives.
time out.
Yeah. It used to be that for centuries, parents had the veto power.
Now they don't.
That's where you had the... I got 10 seconds. You know what? I'm going to finish this thought after the break.
That's right. We'll talk more about dating, the what to do's, what to not do's, coming up in just a moment with the sage pastor from Wisconsin, Mark Gungor.
And you girls, goodness gracious, you single women, quit dating these heathens. Are you hearing me? Say, well, he said he'll come to church. Yeah. Come on. Thank you for that, yeah. Stop dating these heathens. You should know, but he said he'll come to church with me. He'll do whatever he's got to get you. Usually to get something out of you, which we won't get to right now. Yeah, we will. Don't do that either. Good Lord, don't date him, and for the love of heaven, don't have sex with him. Oh. You're people of faith. You're supposed to be servants of the Most High God. You're children of God. You are not supposed to be unequally yoked with these pagans. Now, if he gets in here and gets saved and born again, and then we can talk. I told a lady the other night, she said, well, how do I know who I should date? If somebody wants to date you, you say, I would love to go out with you, but you have to go talk to my pastor first. Bring them on, babies. I don't do a whole lot of appointments, but those I'll do. You send those boys to talk to me. Say, you can't date her, you gotta talk to me first. I'm her spiritual papa. I want to show you the big sword on my wall over here.
So, just before the break, running out of time, they were talking about having someone have veto power in your life.
In dating.
Yeah, I got mixed up there for that. For centuries, it was actually the parents who brought the kids together, but the kids always had veto power.
Okay.
This idea that people were forced into marriages they didn't want is not true at all. Okay, that's a bunch of
By and large, they
it's a
did
bunch of
have veto
romantic
power?
nonsense
Okay.
to make that sound evil somehow. It
Oh.
wasn't. The kids always, even today, in cultures where they have arranged marriages, the kids still have veto power. By the
That's
way,
good.
that system is so effective that in countries where they do arranged marriages, and whether they're Christian culture or not, they have a 5% divorce rate. They have the lowest divorce rate in the world.
They might be miserable, but they're married.
Well, I don't know. I mean, people are miserable, but they're not getting divorced. I mean, we're so miserable, we're getting divorced.
I know,
okay?
that's true.
So there's a lot of positive things that are happening
So
there.
you're advocating for arranged marriages or what?
Well, this is this whole idea of the parents are doing the filtering for them. okay?
So
And
back to your point that we need to get people
people
looking at this
filtering,
relationship.
get other
deciding-
people
okay.
who have perspective on this stuff, okay?
Okay.
And then about in the 1800s it switched. Then instead of the parents making the decision, the kids started making the decisions.
Yeah.
But the parents then had veto power, and it still worked. That's where you get the tradition of going to ask the father's permission.
Yeah, does anyone do that
Okay?
anymore? I don't
well,
know.
they do, but it doesn't mean anything. Because if dad says no, you're
Yeah.
gonna do it anyway. It doesn't really matter. All right? Okay? So we need to get some kind of thing like that where other people are filtering for you. Don't just do it on your own. If you do it on your own, you're headed for this 50% divorce rate nonsense.
Yeah.
But again, we get stubborn, and the reality is our emotions get so caught up, we don't want to see, and we don't want anybody to
Oh
tell
yeah,
us what's
we don't
wrong.
want anyone to tell us about red flags.
all right.
No way.
All right, so now, that's kind of where we've been. Now let me go to the next one. This one's huge.
Okay.
This is huge. All right?
Huge.
Don't get physical with these people, okay?
Like, what do you mean by that? We
I'm
have to
well,
define
first
what
of-
you
well,
mean by physical.
well-
because there's this whole movement across America that you shouldn't even kiss before you get married. So are you talking about that?
I'm good with that.
I thought you would
I'm
be.
good, especially with my daughter. But anyway, you know, I don't know that it needs to be that, but I mean, what you're trying to avoid here is sex. I mean, if you start having sex with
But what
someone.
do you mean by that?
Well, yeah, but that's my whole point. Is today it can mean anything,
Well,
you know.
and I'm being
you know, it's not, you know, it's
serious.
Bill Clinton. You know, what is, you know, I don't know, you know. Look, if it involves this general area, it's sex. All right, knock it off. In generalities, we're speaking here. All right, but it doesn't have to be blown out sex. It can be just the messing around. Because here's what happens: sex makes you stupid. It just does.
And,
okay?
how did you come to that conclusion?
Okay, because it just does. It just makes you stupid, and it's supposed to. In marriage, it's the thing that makes you stupid to all the imperfections of the other person. It's that one thing, that endorphin rush, that kind of resetting the meter in your life. It helps you kind of overlook. I mean, that's why sex is supposed to be so powerful. It's supposed to be the glue that God intended to hold two people together for life.
That bond,
Okay,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. But when you do it before you're married, it just makes you stupid. Okay? Because now you don't see anything. All you are doing is you're caught up in your emotions.
And the invisible bond that you've now created with this other person.
Okay, now check this out. How many of you girls have heard this?
You're
or
not going
guys?
to ask them to admit when they...
No, not that they've had sex. I don't want to know. But how many people have you heard who said, you know, they were in a terrible marriage, and then they say, I don't know why I didn't see this before.
Or even a terrible dating
Or
relationship.
even a dating
they finally
relationship.
break up and they go, I don't know why I was ever with that person. He's just a creep.
Yeah, I was with him for 4 years. I said, I don't know why. It's so clear to me now. I'll tell you why. Whenever somebody says that, take it to the bank. They're having sex with that person. Because sex makes you dumb as a brick, okay? Again, it's supposed to, in the right context. But beforehand, it causes you to not see clearly. And if you are trying to date someone and really find out, gee, is this the right fit for me for the rest of my life? The minute you start getting heavily physical with this person, it doesn't even have to be blown out intercourse or whatever. The minute you start doing this, it clouds your brain, and now you are in Stupidville. And the thousands of people who are doing this today, and there are a lot of you are watching right now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I can't believe I was with that guy for that year.
Yep.
I can't believe I was with that girl for that long. And I don't know what I was thinking. Then always ask them, were you sexually active with them? And they'll go, well, yeah, I guess I was, you know. Well, that's why. That's why you're doing stupid. So, I mean, the biggest advice I can give to any woman, any Christian guy who is dating, keep it out of the heavy physical mode, okay? If you can do this thing where you're not even kissing, all the better, okay? But the minute you cross into that, now you are having problems.
And I'm going to just be honest because I'm pretty transparent with my life. You know, when I was a young person and I was sexually active, and you know, I was with a jerk. Many people can probably relate to that. You know, in hindsight, a couple of years later, he breaks it off, and later I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy was a complete moron and jerk. He treated me terribly, but I didn't see it at the time.
And why didn't I see it? Why didn't I see it? And people always ask the question,
probably, because
why
I
didn't I
was-
see it? Why didn't I
yeah.
see it? Because you're having sex with him.
Yeah.
Stop it! Stop it! For the love of God! What's the matter with you people? Christians, now, you know, pagans I get. They're kind of clueless. They don't have, you know, just... They are. It's just, it is what it is. They don't have God in their life. There's not much of a standard. Just la, 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 la. You know, their vision of how to live life is what's Brittany doing. You know, I mean, it's just,
Oh, dear.
you know, her. But Christians, people who claim the name of Christ, and I'm not talking overwhelmingly about 17, 18-year-olds. I'm talking overwhelmingly 30, 40, 50-year-old singles. Christians going to church who are dating with each other, ripping each other's clothes off, doing all kinds of stupid things you shouldn't be doing.
And justifying it in very creative ways.
Oh, yeah, all kinds
very
of well,
creative.
it's God's will.
Yeah.
God's will. What, is God schizophrenic for crying out loud? He says, don't do this. They justified it all kinds of levels. It's unstinking believable.
Thus the stinking thinking.
Yes, that's the
Nice
stinking
tie-in,
thinking, the name
yeah.
of the show. All right, what else did I want to say?
I don't know.
I want to finish this up because, and then we'll catch up to some other emails probably the next show. But next thing, above all, don't let your emotions be your final dictator, okay?
Ooh, that's a difficult order.
I know,
because
but
love is emotion.
I know,
what are you going to do?
just be as careful as you can. Only in marriage,
Oh.
only in marriage do
It
we
ruins
let...
your credibility when you say it like that.
Quiet, woman!
I don't care if it's the Princess
Quiet,
Bride.
woman! Get back! Anyway, I was going to say something else. I'm not going to say it.
No.
It's from the movie. Anyway, Princess Bride. I love it. Great movie. But what were we talking about?
I don't even know.
Your only in marriage do we let emotions be our final dictator. And some of you do this right now. You're miserable in your marriage, and you're making the decision whether or not to stay based solely on your emotions. Solely on your emotions. Well, I don't know. I'm in love with you, but I'm not. I love you, but I'm not in love with you.
Yeah, that's really common.
Oh, what a bunch of stupid talk. These are the people who need swirlies.
Oh, gee.
We're crying out. In love? What is that supposed to? What it means is strictly, I'm not feeling the right buzz here. I love you, but I'm not in love with you.
Well, but there is a difference.
Oh, please.
Well, you love your dog, you love your aunt, but you don't.
Just checking.
But you're not in love with your aunt or your dog. I mean, it's a different level
Love
of emotion.
is love. There is no such thing as in love versus love.
What?
I mean, if you love somebody, you love somebody.
But there's different
your
kinds.
husband
There's
loves you-
romantic love, and then there's regular
Yeah,
stuff.
but it's just love. You love you. But what is it? I love you.
I hope not.
Well, I love my wife. But to
Okay.
say, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. Therefore, I can make some stupid decision and
Well-
hurt you and stuff because I have to be honest with my feelings.
So the in love.
I have to be honest with my feelings. These stupid psychologists come on. You gotta be honest with your feelings. And so they verbally vomit all over each other. I have to be honest with I don't want to really say this, like,
Swirlies, vomit. The show has everything.
everything.
You know?
We have everything here. For crying out loud, only in marriage.
So you're
I
saying,
don't think it's good to be verbalizing everything you feel. I don't
contemplating
want to
that.
hear everything my wife thinks about me.
Well, I'm sure
I would rather not know. I'm sure there's days she gets up and she thinks she's been blessed by God.
Some days.
I'm sure there's days she gets up, looks at me, and she's convinced she married the spawn of hell. I'd rather not know that, all right? I don't want to hear that. And I don't give her every thought, because there's some good things, and then there's just some bad things.
Okay.
If I feel like she's being a big, fat, stinking jerk,
He didn't mean that.
best
Okay.
that I don't share that with her, okay? So anyway,
So
feelings.
the in-love thing, up and down, peaks and valleys in a normal relationship,
It's
right?
emotional. Only in
Okay.
marriage do we do this. And we need to take a break, but I want to finish this thought.
Okie dokies, more coming up on Love,
Love, Marriage, and Stinking Thing. Whatever the name of the show is. We'll be right back. Man, my marriage is always under attack. We're always under attack. Pastor, why is it always under the attack? Probably because the devil knows that he keeps it up, you'll quit. Why isn't my marriage under attack all the time? He knows I'm too dumb to quit. Seriously. So I'm messing with him. He never quits. Seriously, the more determined you are, and the more you experience determination and demonstrate determination in the spirit life, I believe those who experience the greatest and have experienced and demonstrated the greatest amount of determination are the ones who are least likely to be under attack. These are the ones who they seem to just have more of a spring in there. Why is that? Because I'm not letting go till you bless me. It's like a chihuahua for Jesus. You know what I'm talking about? Like chihuahuas, they're so ugly, and they're so obnoxious, and they're so mean, and they're so determined, and they attack and they grab your pants, and it's like,
don't you know I could squish you like a bug? They don't know it. They think they're a big dog. They think when a Great Dane walks by that that's their brother. That's it, brother. Come on, that's it. We all happening, we all dog. That's a dog, I'm a dog, that's a dog. You ever see a big, strong dog whose spirit was broken? You approach it and it just yelps and it pulls back and it's so afraid because it's been abused or something like that. It's kind of heartbreaking, you know what I'm talking about? And you think, wow, that dog could eat me alive. It could kill me if it was determined. But its spirit is broken. Then you run into the Chihuahua. What I had for lunch was bigger than the Chihuahua, okay? And the Chihuahua doesn't know he's little. And he's barking and yelling. And grabs it, he won't let's go, you stupid dog. Actually, they freak the willies out of you. You ever see these dogs? They freak you out, man. Ah! What is it? It's a Chihuahua. Jacob was a Chihuahua. I'm sure the angel could have pretty much flipped him like a booger. Don't you think? But he wouldn't let go. Why? I'm a Chihuahua. You gotta bless me. Man, I'm telling you, this is life-changing stuff, man. If you get this in you, it'll change your life. You become a Chihuahua for Jesus. I ain't letting go. I'm hanging on. I'm hanging on. Me gusta mucho. Está bien. Dios le bendiga. Hola.
Mark Gungor.
Mark Gungor.
Oh, no. The
Marriage.
Princess Bride.
Hey, my name up there. You see that? Mark Gungor.
I noticed that.
From the back, it says Cram Rognug. Yes.
Interesting.
Welcome to the Cram Rognug Show, ladies and gentlemen. What am I talking about?
It's hard to work with this person. Let's stay focused.
Okay,
Dating,
okay.
we're
Final
talking
thing.
about dating.
Final thought on dating. Okay.
Dating.
I don't probably never have any final thoughts because I never shut up.
That's
But,
for sure.
Here's one before we go.
Okay.
If you're an empty soul, for the love of heaven, stay single.
Now,
Okay.
what do you mean?
If you're an
empty
empty, miserable, I need someone to make me happy soul, just stay single. Because marriage is not about two empty souls making each other happy. It's about two people who are already happy getting together and building a life together. So check it out on our radio show that you can listen to every day. Check it out Monday through Friday.
That's right.
StinkyThingy.com. You'll see all the
You're going to get
links there.
distracted. You're going to forget what you're talking about. I just know it.
What was I talking about?
Oh.
I don't know. Okay, so anyway, on our radio, we were talking about this survey that they did where these people went and they did the study and took people's graduation pictures. You remember this thing?
Oh, yes. This was
And
fascinating.
they rated people's smiles
Yes,
in their pictures.
How good they smiled. Did they look happy?
So the people in the top 10% of the best smiles,
Yes.
they went and interviewed these people. Not a single one, check it out.
This is years
Not
later.
a single one had been divorced.
Yeah. Years later, they stayed married.
That is absolutely unstinking believable.
Unstinking believable.
Unstinking believable. It's amazing, stinking unbelievable. I don't know how I was trying to say this. But what is it? The people are happy.
To begin with.
They're happy to begin with. If you're miserable and empty and
needy,
distraught, and I need someone to make me happy, and you find some nitwit you think's gonna make you happy, you're gonna marry him and you're not gonna be happy because you're an empty soul. For crying out loud, God should be, as Christians, God should be my source of joy.
Amen.
My
That's
wife
right.
does not need me to make her happy.
Thank goodness.
Sad to imagine, but it's true. Okay?
Yeah.
She's happy already.
She's complete
She's complete
already.
in Christ.
Yeah.
She knows who
Yeah.
she is. I was complete and happy. I didn't need her to be happy. Now, I'm happier
it's a
with
blessing.
her.
Yeah,
yes.
for sure.
But if you're miserable and empty and sad and crying, you never smile, and I just need to get married. No, you don't.
But so many,
Stay single.
especially women, are at that point. I mean, I know personally of many of them who are needy and they're looking for the guy. They'll grab any guy that'll give them attention. And you're saying they need to pursue God first. They need to be whole first. They need to find joy first before they enter that marriage.
Yes.
Okay.
Final thoughts.
Final
now,
thoughts.
How are we doing on time? Doing okay?
Several
Say that and
minutes.
you go,
You're
40 seconds, and then
trouble.
you got to quit. But another thought. Now, if you've got all this stuff together, it's amazing how many women, Christian women, say this to me. I'm trusting for God to bring me a husband.
Yes.
I'm believing for God to bring me a husband.
Yeah,
Okay?
well, you're praying. I mean, that would be right to be praying for God to bring the right guy
but
along.
what are you, Moses, for crying out loud? I mean, come on. If you're looking for a husband, go find one. It's like me living in Arizona, in the middle of the desert, saying, I'm trusting for God to bring me a fish. Yes, I'm believing I'm going to have a fish someday. I would just love to catch a fish. There's no water around here, but I could go fishing. But I don't want to go fishing. I'm trusting God will bring me a fish.
Just have my frying
You know
pan.
what?
I'm waiting.
They're gonna find my bones out there in the desert, rotted away with a little sign, looking for fish. Okay? Okay, and God will answer prayers, but at some point, you've got to be proactive.
Sure.
You want to fish? Go fishing!
So where do you go fishing? A lot of women would like to know that.
Oh, I don't know. I can't answer that for you. There's all kinds of ways, but all I'm trying to tell you is to sit there quietly. Oh, they're going to boo me.
See?
We're running out of time. I don't have time.
Find a guy.
Well, first of all, we got to go find where men are. You got to go find people. There's singles networks. There's Christian single networks. There's all kinds of things.
Good guys. I'm telling you, it's
But
hard.
I'm just saying, chances of just God supernaturally
Well.
flying in some guy on a balloon for you to marry is highly unlikely.
True.
So just don't sit around waiting for God to bring me a wife.
So what do you think about-
Do you ever go talk to any other women? No. Yeah, are you afraid of women? Yes. Do you ever try to talk to the women? No, I'm scare me to death. I mean, come on, you can't just sit around and do nothing.
Online dating? Yes, no?
It
Maybe so?
depends on the place that you're going and stuff. Again, best scenario is when you got family and friends who bring people together. I'm telling you,
That
it's just
know
the best
these
one.
people.
Yes.
Can
So
kind of
anyway,
vouch for
lots of stuff in last week's show and this week's show. Hopefully you TiVoed them. If not, go online and buy the show because you need to hear this stuff. Do the dating right. I believe it'll stop the disasters that we keep running into.
And hey, go to stinkingthinking.com. Tons of resources there. You can pick up Mark's book, Laugh Your Way to a Better Marriage. You can pick up the DVDs. You can find out about the radio show. It's a daily show, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, where we take your email questions. It's radio@laughyourway.com is the email address if you have your own questions. We'd love
So
to
you
hear
can
from
check
you.
all that out. Anyway, we love you guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week when we talk more about marriage.
Love, Marriage, and Stinking Thinking is made possible by your continued support of this network. To learn more about Mark Gungor and how you can improve your marriage, visit us online at stinkingthinking.com. There you will find Mark's best-selling book, Laugh Your Way to a Better Marriage. You can also see if Mark will be bringing his seminar to a city near you. And you can listen to Mark on his weekly radio show where you can call in with your questions and speak with Mark in person. Love, Marriage, and Stinking Thinking is a production of Laugh Your Way America.
Grits and gravy, chicken.